Team, I don't know what happened. I was talking and streaming for like an hour. For literally, okay, 40 minutes, I'd say. And I just didn't turn the streaming on. What? Time was going. I was talking to myself this whole time. I'm not restarting the timer. To me, I was streaming. Oh shit, we missed like all of what I've been doing. Alright, oh well. Damn, literally I've done the whole fucking thing. There was a whole thing. You missed everything. You missed everything. God damn. God damn. Damn. Only live now? Alright, whatever. So now, like I was saying before I pressed start streaming, we're going to be boosting the loud. So we've done the lows, we've done the highs, we didn't put any thick, we've got high clean, we've got smooth on there, we've got calm, and we've got very low tape saturation to keep the bass relatively tight. Also, with a compressor, we've done quite a lot of compression, bringing it just past that line, so it's over 3 decibels. And then on top of that, with the Vasthaus, it's relatively low, but we've got it so that we can really pump it up later on in the process. And that's the whole point. Here we've got it relatively low as well. And then here, we've put it up, but we've not put it all the way to the very top, right? There is still room to be pushed. And that's the whole point. So with this mix, we're not going to be getting the cleanest mix. We're not going to get the most dynamics in this mix. The point of this one is just going to be super loud. That's the plan here, to get it as loud as possible and loud and powerful as possible. And so all of the process that I've done so far is to allow us to do that. So we're going to dial this all the way up and then work our way down and find where there's a reasonable amount of loudness. So right away, obviously, way too much saturation. Including in the crash. So let's dial it down. You can hear how the bass is interacting with the crash quite a lot, so we need to dial that down more. Now we're getting a lot better, but still, the highs are interacting with that crash quite a lot. Sorry, the lows are interacting with the crash quite a lot, making it really crunchy. So let's dial it down more. So far right now, it's just the highs that we've got an issue with. So we can dial this highs down, and we might be getting something better out of this. There we go. The highs are much more smooth now, and we can really push the envelope now. So the highs were okay, but a little crunchy, so we're going to bring it all the way down and dial it up slowly. Right there is just about where it's about to start getting gritty. Now, that bass, we can get that gritty. Not an issue too much. So we can leave the low end where it is. Now we're going to turn off mono, and we're going to dial up the wide and find where we want it. It's already very wide, to be honest, so I'm not sure how much we're going to want. So we're going to put it all the way to 2 times and then dial it down. Alright, and now for the finished product, we're going to turn off Unity. And so, despite it's got 13.87 decibels of gain reduction, that's going to be taken away. There is no more gain reduction. We've only got 0.1 decibels limiting at the end. Alright, get ready for that. Very powerful, very loud, very fun for the whole family. Let's go ahead and save that. Collect all and save, and let's have a listen to the whole thing and see if we've got any issues before we finalize this project.
Yo, this song is called Sauerkraut. It's called Sauerkraut. Remember that? It's the one that goes, it goes, right? Remember that? Sauerkraut. That's the name of the song. Yeah, Sauerkraut. Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. That's what the song's going to be called. Follow me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let's just double check this. This is where it was the loudest before. Alright, cool. Yeah, it's still obviously very loud, but it's not too bad. It is really pushing the envelope. It is really fucking loud, the whole thing. So risky. Super, super risky. Is that a kick? Such a weird kick sound there. There's something on the bus? That's why. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut.
Okay, here's my thinking. I'm going to reduce because some of the volume's a bit too loud. Sort of like around the drop, I want it to be louder at the drop. so the drop kind of slaps you in the face. So my plan here is, we start there, don't we? Yeah. My plan here is we'll do dot there and bring this down. Maybe 3 decibels is too much. Let's test.
The name of the song, yeah, Sauerkraut.
I don't think it is too much, actually.
Right, remember that, Sauerkraut, that's the name of the song, yeah, Sauerkraut. Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram.
That's going to go down 3 decibels as well.
That's what the song's going to be called.
Let's test that out.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called
Cool. Smooth.
Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. That's what the song's going to be called. Follow me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. Yeah.
That's good. Slaps you on the face a bit. This, I'm not so sure about yet.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram.
We'll try that out.
Actually, I've realised I don't know how to spell sauerkraut, so instead the song is going to be called Follow Me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. That's what the song's going to be called. Follow me on Instagram at LimLamOfficial. Yeah.
You sure? See, there's a ducking here, right there, and I'm not sure why. C#8. I'm thinking it might be just because there's something going on over here at C#8.
That's what the song's going to be called.
Yeah, it's this, but it doesn't need to be everywhere because it doesn't fucking exist. It pretends it's here, but we've got side infinite. There's no sound.
Actually, I've realized I don't know how to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with that. We collect all and save. And stream for like 20 more minutes. This is now done. I'm going to move this to finished. And unreleased. We can remove that orangeness now. Alright, let's move on to Dead or Alive. Let's just see what we can do in terms of mix down nice and quick. I'm not looking to release this song. So what I'm going to test out is doing a mix down. This is going to be a weird one. I'm going to test out, I've just got an idea, to do a mix down to this line. Yeah? So the mix down is perfectly to this line. Just to see what it might sound like and sort of have fun with it that way. Yeah, it might be absolutely terrible. In fact, I've got a feeling it will be. There is a lot of layers to this shit. God damn. No, 41. No, there's not that many. It's just mainly vocals. And the vocals I can work with all together. Let's just have a listen and make sure everything is, you know, not trash. The snare is way too weak. Cannot even hear it. That's the best you can do? Nah, we can do better. We can do better, and we're going to do better. Because everything else is so much more powerful, we need to boost this. I mean, to me, the powerful part of this is the high end. Without? With. Needs it. But you can see it's not, you know, there's nothing, it's not ducking underneath that snare. That snare barely fucking exists. That snare is a feeling. So, to make sure that it stays as a feeling, I've removed the low end because we don't want any sub-bass interfering there. But yeah, I mean, you can barely fucking hear this snare, man. just a little bit of reverb on the hi-hats. I'm going to put that before the sidechain compression underneath the trigger, which is just the kicks, by the way. But that just allows the kicks to punch through the mix a little more powerfully. Oh, which is nice. Okay. Let's, that EQ, man. Without? With. It was needed. It was needed. That's much better. Rave theory. BV drum kit trap density. Is that? It's not. I've not done that or anything, but it does look like it smooths out to the 0 anyway. That's interesting. Yeah. I must have. What if I do that? It just gives me a date then. Okay. Okay, whatever. Weird, even this. This is literally just the actual thing as the trigger. I don't use that. I normally prop it. All right. This is cool. Let's make sure it is clear to everyone that this is a feeling by giving it stereo delay. So now it's going to be here. And we're going to put some reverb on that, same reverb that's on the hi-hats. After is fine. All right, cool. All right, so I've got it in mono. Let's go ahead and start adjusting shit. I'm going to turn off the dark, I'm going to turn off the Vox, I'm going to turn off the hi-hats, and we'll do just the kick first. We can see that it's going up. I'm going to try to get it to this line, the 6 decibel line, rather than the 0 line. We're going to go for the 6 decibel line. I'll bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. There we go. Perfectly in line. This one can go a little bit over. If minus 9.6 was in line, then minus 8.9 is half a decibel louder. And we can bring this up. Bring this up. Damn. That's the loudest I can bring it. I've got a feeling this might not work for me then. Alright, let's do it to this center line then instead. Bring it down. 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 About there. This is the loudest part of it. So let's bring this down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Alright. This is not a good idea. Alright, now for the hi-hats. Okay, so they're already too much. Let's bring that down. Bring it down. There we go. Now I think we leave the little peaks as is, and we just look at the main waveform. So let's bring that up. About there. Now let's for this experiment, let's work with the peaks. It's just the problem is the peaks can be so easily fixed later on that it shouldn't really matter. Okay, so we've got dry and we've got wet. Couldn't tell you what that even means. Let's have a listen to this. Okay, let's have a listen to this. Why? What is the point of that one? What is the point of this? Is there automation on this? There isn't even... Oh. Delay. Dry wet. Ah, this controls the delay, essentially. Okay, so we've got dry versus wet. Let's start with dry then. Let's try to find a part where there's like constant talking. Let's go here. I'm assuming we've got a bunch of compression on here anyway, so it's fine. There's glue compression, but not a bunch of compression. All right, whatever, that's fine, whatever, who cares? So we can see that here we've got big peaks coming over the line. We're just going to dial that down. Dial it down, 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 dial it down even a little more. That's too much. There we go. So we are going over the line a little bit, but that's okay. Because you want the kick and the snare, but the snare doesn't really count here. Because the snare here it isn't even ducked underneath, it's just a feeling. We want the kick, the snare, and the vocals to be piercing through the mix more than anything. So now we've got this. We're just going to bring that down as well, but in context. Cool. Now let's move on to the duck. Duck, duck, goose. No. So I guess let's get started with this here, which is way too loud. We bring it down. Let's make sure there's nothing on here. There's clip limit. There's all that sort of stuff on here. So we're going to leave the ratio of these two the same and just change the volume of this overall group. Bring it down. Bring it down. There we go. And that's just about in line, and check this. Cool. That works. And now we're going to test out these things. Oh, that's already in line. All right. And now we're going to do the sub bass. And that's literally it. Way too loud. I'm going to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Bring it down a little bit more. Just a smidgen more. There we go. And in theory, it is all completely flat and sounds horrendous to our ears. Now, let's just test something out. Let's see what happens if we put the reverse Fluctuar-Munson curve on this. And that's the drop. Oh, let's take off mono. Okay, and without the Fluctuar-Munson curve. Damn. All right, let's all right, look, I hate this. I hate I'm gonna be real with you. I absolutely hate this. But we're experimenting, and that's important in some ways, I suppose. Let's go ahead and really go through the Perfect Master really quickly, because I want to end this stream in about 4 minutes. About 4 minutes. And I'm glad I am actually streaming this time, for fuck's sake. All right, so let's do compression. I mean limiting. We're looking for. Jeez. All right, that's fine. It's just that snare, so much louder than everything else. What if we put it in mono? Does that help? It does. It does help a lot without mono. It's the same in this. This is mono. This is stereo. Yeah, alright, fuck it, we ball. Alright, and then we'll leave this on. We do not need that high shelf. Let's get the fur comp on here, compression. We're gonna try to bring it to here. Bring it down. Too much, bring it up. Good God. See, this is not helpful. The pink noise is better rather than white noise, and white noise is completely flat. Because that snare is clearly way too loud. Clearly way too loud. Yeah. Good morning, Moon. We're trying out a new technique. White is flat. Correct. So we're trying out a new technique whereby we're pretending that this line here is white noise and the reference that we're using it to. So you can see all the frequencies are perfectly just underneath this. But the problem is that that snare is piercing through the mix way too much. This thing. It's so much louder than everything else. Even though, like, it's all perfectly in line. That snare is powerful. But I'm going to trust the process and see what we can do. Where's black line noise? There is no noise. There is no noise. We're doing it without noise. We're just pretending that this white line is noise because, like you said, white noise is flat. And so if this line is white noise, so this is what would happen if we mix down to white noise versus pink noise. So we're just testing that out. But the snare is just clipping through everything. So I'm going to bring that down. There we go. We'll leave it there. Vastell should help us out here. There we go. That's so much nicer. And let's dial it down until where it's okay. This is the change that it's taken out. This is all the frequencies that it's just reduced. All right, so that's what we've got so far. Now we're going to get Hornet of all things on here. Turn that all the way up. Dial it down until it sounds good. Let's get this EQ at the end so we can see what's happening. Okay. It's boosted the low end quite a bit. And good God. Look, the snare is still peeking through the entire fucking mix. Alright, we're going to boost this up, so I'm going to turn down your volume quite a bit. We'll do it back there, and then we'll clip that snare. So it's 0.3 decibels of reduction. And a little bit more. We can see the reduction here. That's 4-5, that's too much. We're going to bring it up a bit. That's 2-3, it's too little. Bring it down a bit. I'm gonna have a look. 2-4, not enough. Let's do a little bit more. There we go. It's 2-8. I'm happy with that because that's close to 3. And now we're going to bring on this. All right, fuck mono. Let's just do unit, the highs, whatever. We'll do all of this stuff first, then we'll do this, and then we'll do loud, high last. Okay, just for ease, I'm going to loop that area. That's good, that's giving it power. We can turn that all the way up. Sure, that's helpful. Let's do calm. Let's have it slightly lower. Bass we could have quite warm here. That snare is a crazy stereo snare. Is it Splice? No, I don't use Splice. I don't have Splice. Let's have a look. What is this snare? Oh, it's Cymatics. It's Home Depot. It's literally just a thing that they found in Home Depot. I made it stereo with stereo delay. So without the stereo delay, without my reverb, without the saturator, and without my EQ. So that's the that's the original sound. And then with my EQ, with saturator, with my stereo delay, and with my reverb. And yeah, that's what we've got. And I am aware that the mix isn't perfect, all right? Relax, please. Eaton? Or Eaton? All right, anyway, let's get back to this. Thinking about the bass here. I want it relatively warm for this one. So funny. Oh, nice. Well done. That's sort of what I figured. Yeah, I sample crazy stuff like my coffee maker with Koala. What's Koala? But yeah, so sampling crazy stuff is 100% super, super duper fun. A10 rhymes with Hey John. Hey John. Aton. Aton. Okay. Moon says koala is an animal. Good work, Moon. Good work. It's a great sampling app. Oh, gotcha. Cool. Cool. Is it like a plugin for like, can you use it in DAWs or what? I'm going to fuck with the loudness knob now. So what I've done is I've mixed down, and this is something you shouldn't do. Aton. I'm preparing, I'm practicing, I'm just fucking around. I mixed down to this line here, so it's essentially white noise versus normally you want to mix down to pink noise. I've got Unity on, so the loudness is, you're just going to be hearing the distortion from it. And we're dialing it down to where we can get it. And I want to see how much you can push a mix if you actually do it to white noise versus pink noise. It's not going to sound good because of the mix down being done to white noise versus pink noise. No, bro. The lyrics were, "You wanted me alive. You wanted me dead." All right, I need to go eat because I'm streaming again in like 20 minutes. All right, look, it's been an absolute pleasure, Moon. Hopefully you're here again in about 20 minutes. If not, you know, that's okay because you got life and that's all good. All right, see you later, bro.